Joining me now, former Deputy Prime Minister John Anderson and the Executive Director of the IPA, the Institute of Public Affairs, Scott Hargreaves. Gentlemen, welcome. John Anderson, I'd like to start with you.
Thank you,
Since we last spoke, there's now been a majority decision of the Liberal Party room. So it is a party room decision. It's not a free vote, but a very decisive move to oppose the voice and, as I said, carried by the majority of members. There were 5, we were told, last Wednesday who said that they'll stay in the yes camp. We know now that's 6 with Julie and Lisa. But as Greg Sheridan observed in The Australian, a majority decision by Liberals to oppose the voice is very significant, isn't it?
Well, it is. And frankly, can I say, and I mean this really sincerely, I don't see how a classic Liberal, in the classic sense of the word, or Conservative could support the insertion of a group right based on anything, including race, in the Constitution. It flies in the face of the idea of a foundational document that gives everyone in the land precisely the same status at law. So I believe it was the right decision, a courageous decision. It's one that is intellectually honest and rigorous and commits to a proper understanding of statecraft in the best Western tradition. That is honestly how I see it. Now, it's got to be kept in mind that the coalition, the party I once led, and the Liberal Party does allow for people to cross the floor if they feel really strongly about something. And here again, you have a contrast with the extraordinary straitjacketing of the Labor Party, and it's been in evidence again on this issue. There must be people in the Labor Party who are uneasy about the fact that their Prime Minister describes the voice one way, while its advocates describe it another way. The truth is, we still don't know what it is, but we're being asked to change our Constitution on the basis of it.
Now, let me underscore how the Liberal Party works in terms of its rules. It's open to any member to cross the floor at any time, any parliamentarian on a matter of conscience or something they feel very strongly about. A conscience as a definition is usually life and death matters. This clearly isn't life and death, but it's something that I think, quite genuinely you saw with Julian Leeser today. He feels very strongly about this. He's had a very long history in the issue. I think it's wrong, if I have to say this, Peter Dutton, to have put him in that portfolio from the outset. He always had a premeditated position on the voice. But it's incumbent upon you, if you are a front bencher and you cannot support the will of the party room or indeed the cabinet, of course, to resign. So we did a very honourable thing. Scott, how is this going to play out for the yes vote? I've seen statements already, people crowing about it on the yes side. And what sort of implications might it have for Peter Dutton?
Peter, thank you. I will say in a moment why I think they're all crowing about it and trying to put this pressure on Peter Dutton. Practically, I don't think it will make any difference to Peter Dutton or indeed to the yes case. We've seen that Julian Leeser, as you say, it's taking him. He's had this position for nearly a decade now, and so we all understand that, and he's entitled to his voice. But so are millions of other Australians who want to make a contribution. But Peter Dutton has been a conviction politician. He's carried the Liberal Party with him, and he speaks for the Liberal Party, which will now ensure that Australians really do have a debate. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of all this commentary saying that Peter Dutton's got something wrong politically or something wrong morally or that he's lost Julian Leeser, because what we're not seeing is anyone from the yes side or the government actually engaging with substantive points that Peter Dutton has made, the questions he has asked of the Prime Minister, which have yet to be answered. I think that's why there's all this focus on Peter Dutton, because the yes case doesn't actually want to have a debate or engage with the real questions that Australians have.
Don, I'm interested in your take here as well.
Well, I think that's right. And look, I certainly do want to make it plain that I do respect people who, according to their conscience, choose to cross the floor. That's something both coalition parties allow for, and I always allowed for it, as did John Howard in our day, unlike the Labor Party, which is much more cloying in the way in which it controls its own people. But I think that the tone of the debate is in itself enough reason for the Australian people to say, this is what we loathe about politics. Stop it. There's playing of the man all the time, by the people in the Yes campaign. You're suspect, you're a racist, you're anti-progress for Indigenous Australians if you oppose the voice. Well, that is reason enough to say, stop it, we're not going to have this. We will have a civilised debate. And if you want to pursue this, well, do it properly via a proper constitutional convention. There are some things we could clean up in the Constitution. Why not do it properly? And here's something I didn't know until very recently. Nicola Saroni from Queensland, a constitutional lawyer and educator. The Australian Constitution was laid out before the people in the 1890s in full. They weren't asked to trust us to go away and draw something up. The whole thing was put before them in full. They knew exactly what they were getting. And that's not a bad principle. We ought to apply that now.
I think when Canberra doesn't tell you what's going on, it's because they don't want you to understand what's going on. Just quickly, Scott, your organisation, the IPA, have written to the eSafety Commissioner. You've asked for a clear definition of hate speech. You've questioned her over previous statements she made that she would take down things. What's concerning you?
As John just said, there's an implication that you're racist if you're opposed to the voice. And when the eSafety Commissioner says she's going to lean on the tech giants to take down posts that constitute hate speech, something that basically there is no definition in her act. It means whatever she wants it to mean or whatever the tech giants want it to mean. That's why we're rightly concerned that it's another way in which the government will be stacking the decks against the no case. We hope we're wrong. That's why we've respectfully written her a letter asking her to clarify her intentions and how she proposes to work with the tech giants, because we need a full and fair and respectful debate in Australia.